I want to earn some passive income this year. So we're going to be mining some cryptocurrency. But other than Bitcoin, what coins are there to mine? We're going to touch on that. But right now, I'm building out my own mining farm. And I'm taking it from a hobbyist point of view to this is a serious business. And I've been running the numbers, crunching the numbers, and these are the most profitable mining rigs you can buy right now. But also, we're going to talk about what the horizon looks like. And not only like we look at the numbers today, are they good? But are they likely to stay that way? And really, what mining rigs are not only the best ones to buy today, but really just simply moving forward. My name is Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Let's dig in. I really want to drive this home. We are not just looking at the most profitable miners to buy right now here today. It's not that simple. The equation is a little bit more complex, and I don't know everything by any means, but I'm going to lean on my experience and data and a little bit of insider knowledge and scoop that I do have, and I'm going to estimate some of these miners that may look like a good buy, but actually won't be. So one way to look at what cryptocurrencies to target is you look at emissions, right? So in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has emitted $15 million. That's a lot of pie to eat, which is why more people than any other cryptocurrency mine Bitcoin. I mean, you combine all these other coins and the number pales in comparison to Bitcoin's emission. If one of these smaller cryptocurrencies just absolutely booms in price, then there could be a lot of profitability to be had. But that's an if. Let's focus on just what is simply true. Remember, Dogecoin and Litecoin are merge mined, so they really make $1.5 million worth of crypto in the last 24 hours. And all these numbers, I checked them, they're relatively average. Nothing too crazy there. But my point is that we got 1.5 million on that. We got almost $300,000. Really, with the fact that Zcash sucks, let's factor $250,000 of emission in the last 24 hours, as it's likely to continue trending down in price. But that's a little bit of a personal opinion on that one. So we look at miners, we look at profitability. The KA3 tops the chart. We recently talked about the KA3, but let me just touch on that. So like the KA3 mines Kadena, and they've committed to proof of work. That's great. They're investing $100 million in their ecosystem with grants. Their market cap's only $200 million. If they hit a new all-time high and you held your coins for a Kadena, then you would be doing more than like a 28x currently. I'm not trying to get too stuck on what coins could do, but it is something to take very seriously if you mine anything other than Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's gonna be good in a couple years. It's gonna be good tomorrow. It's gonna be great probably in 5, right? But if you're doing this from more of a hobbyist point of view, some of these other altcoin mining rigs may be much more interesting. So we'll come back to the K7. Let's talk about the Bitmain Antminer L7. I'm just gonna talk about some of these miners top of the charts, and then we'll break down some things more closely related to specific cryptocurrencies, and we'll flesh out Bitcoin mining a little bit further. So the Bitmain Antminer L7, it came out in 2021, but most of them didn't really hit their destinations until early 2022. But now it's 2023. Dogecoin has been doing well. Okay, whether you love or hate it overall, right? Dogecoin remains a big cryptocurrency. It's the 8th biggest when it's ranked by its market cap, and has a higher market cap than Coinbase does with their coin stock, to put all those things into perspective there. Then Litecoin is the 17th biggest cryptocurrency ranked by CoinMarketCap at about $5 billion. Also, I need to collect my candies. I missed it yesterday. Dang. So that's an important figure, right? Because when you start to quantify just exactly how risky some of these miners are, guess what's not risky? A Bitcoin miner, because it mines Mr. OG, Mr. BTC. And Dogecoin mining is not all that risky anymore. People continue to push it, to root for it, right? Even though it's only trading at less than 8 cents right now. right? And we talked about Kadena already, and we look at Kadena, it's the 137th biggest cryptocurrency when ranked by CoinMarketCap, and it's only trading at $200 million compared to these other cryptos that are doing billions. So, you know, potential bigger upside, but it's also easier for the bottom to fall out. Again, whether you love or hate Dogecoin, it's been around it's getting closer to a decade. It's not going away. And that's just it. And anyone hating on it just doesn't really understand the power of that dog meme. So we reviewed the Antminer L7. It's a workhorse. Bitmain, shady company, cutthroat company, but they make good miners, right? Generally speaking. So that thing's a year old. I think we are very likely to see a new model this year. And obviously Bitmain has competitors. We could see some competitors come in with good miners as well. But it's been about a year and we haven't really seen a good competitor script ASIC miner. We've talked about Goldshell before, and they used to be the leader in script ASIC mining for a year or two. And they've been completely outclassed. The LT6 is barely even profitable anymore. So DXpool it doesn't have every miner, but it's a little easier to just digest and kind of run through these. So we look at the LT6, and at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, that miner is not even profitable. It basically treads water, breaks even, actually loses you 6 cents a day. Then the L7, depending on which model you have in comparison, is still pooling, okay, 12, 13 bucks after you pay that 10 cent per kilowatt hour electric bill. So, and keep in mind, that's after the electric bill. These things are earning $20 a day, 176 Doge a day, all right? And that means there's so much room for them to continue pumping out the L7. And it's a year-old miner model. They may have an L7 Plus or some kind of terrible named miner on the horizon there. Something to think about. Obviously, Goldshell wants to get back in the game and be competitive. Do they have something that can compete? Well, we'll find out sooner than later, or Bitmain is just going to continue burying them. Right? And everything we've talked about so far has been all based on ASIC mining. Those are application-specific integrated circuit miners, purpose-built machines. And ASIC miners continue to lead the way, for better and worse, for crypto mining. And that's most of what we're focusing on here today. Because if you're like, well, what about my graphics card, man? Well, let me tell you about that graphics card, buddy. There's only one graphics card right now that earns more money than it burns in electricity. Okay. No, correction. There's 4, and 2 of them make 1 cent. There's not a single graphics card that makes more than 24 cents a day right now mining an obscure altcoin. Furthermore, these things cost somewhere between $600 and $2,000 to basically tread water with. GPU mining is absolutely dead. Will it come back to life in the future? It's possible. I hope it does. But I'm surely not banking on it, and I am not investing in really any GPU mining hardware. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to build one rig next year for fun, for spec mining, and just because, and the parts are now actually finally cheap. But I'm a maniac, and that's the last thing I'd recommend, right? And so recently we talked about hard drive mining. Evergreen miner, pretty cool, plug and play. This thing makes like 60 bucks a month. These miners are not cheap, right? You get the biggest model, which is the one that we reviewed. It's about $2,800. You get a discount if you use our code and all that stuff, and I really appreciate when you guys support us with our links. This is a longer term play. You make it 60 bucks a month. This thing is not loud. It does not produce much heat, all right? It doesn't cost much to operate. So even if you have a more expensive electricity rate, hard drive mining like this, mining Chia, is absolutely a good play. I've been pretty enthused by this. I think they're fun. I think they're cool. They are profitable. They earn more than they burn. It's a longer term play. If that's not for you, then just buy the coin, whatever. That's fine. For me, I've got the model here with 160 terabytes, and I'm going to be building out 1 petabyte, which I'm pretty excited about, which will equate to earning $420 per month mining with hard drives. Again, I'm a maniac that loves crypto. I'm not pushing that on you. You do whatever you want to do. They have a plug and play option that's super cool. Everything that's here, you could also DIY. You could DIY it for cheaper, but you're going to have to figure out how to do it. You need the right hardware, and it's going to take you some time, and plotting hard drives is not a fast process, at least until this GPU plotter shows up sometime this year. To put it simply, I find their product one of the most approachable and profitable and just something I'm excited about this year in mining. And it reminds me of how I felt about helium mining before helium mining just went to absolute garbage, right? We've talked about Bobcat miners and helium mining many times. They have different models and stuff like that. They've caught up on their orders. They're supposed to have real-time shipping, and you even get a hoodie depending on when you order this and stuff like that. And I'll drop that link down below. There are other helium hotspot manufacturers as well. But I've got like 18 helium hotspot miners right now, and I earn maybe $1 a day. It's just not all that interesting. It's not all that profitable. That ecosystem is basically ballooned, and then they pivoted towards 5G and left the people with the LoRa radio wave miners hanging. Getting into the 5G mining could prove to be lucrative, whether people love that or hate that. So I have that miner. I need to set it up. It's on my to-do list. But I just feel kind of burned by Helium. I'm not happy with Helium and everything Nova Labs has done. It's just beyond disappointing, and I've talked about it in other videos, and I don't want to go into a whole rant about it today. It's not a cryptocurrency I will ever fully be thrilled about again or trust again. And for me, if it's lucrative, I'll mine it and dump it, and that's it. That's where my interest and involvement ends as it stands. Fool me once, not twice, right? It was good till it wasn't, more or less. So that's two alternative forms of mining. Mining with a Raspberry Pi and a radio, essentially. There's also the 5G aspect of that. Then, of course, we just talked about the hard drive mining. GPU mining is essentially dead. CPU mining is controlled by server farms pretty much as it sits. So that pretty much just brings us back to ASIC mining again. And let's talk about the K7. This is the second most profitable miner you can buy right now. This miner is... it's very new. These profit numbers can change drastically. The amount of coins mined per day on Nervos network is not very high. They only have an $79 million market cap at the time of recording this video. And in the last 24 hours, they put out 26 grand in coins. We're talking 26 grand, right? Bitcoin's doing 15 million. Obviously very different cryptocurrencies, of course. But just to put it into perspective, right? Because these miners are not cheap by any means. So Nervos is ranked 260 by CoinMarketCap against all other cryptocurrencies, doing over $1 million in trading volume. And per CoinGecko, their market cap's only at $72 million, right? And so if you want to grab one of these Bitmain miners and you go to Bitmain, you'll find that they just always seem to be sold out unless you want a Bitcoin miner, right? So you want that CKB miner, you click that, it's not there. They're sold out. They sold these at $4,000 a piece. You're like, oh, I want the Kadena miner. Oh, sure, yeah, that was $5,300, and those are all sold out. You're like, oh, well, maybe I'll take the Dogecoin miner. Yeah, sure, buddy, those are $9,500, and those are all now sold out. It gets frustrating, it gets discouraging. That's why we're fortunate to work with Coin Mining Central. They help us source miners in a timely time. They're a reseller. We have an affiliate link. We have a code that saves you money down in the video description below. Again, as always, do whatever the hell you want to do. The end. Okay, so you want to come over here and get the L7. Well, they have the L7 in stock. Is it the same price as Bitmain? No, but it is similarly priced given the fact that they're a reseller and all they do is make money on the markup. Also, you get better deals from Bitmain when you buy in volume. Something that I personally don't do all that much of. I'm more of a one miner, couple miner kind of guy. They don't really sprinkle your boy with volume discounts at Bitmain HQ. K7, they're available to order as well. What about the KA3? Well, look at that. That's available to order and pretty pricey as well. My point being is that even though when you go to the manufacturer, you get discouraged, there are other options. Are these price points worth it? Run the numbers, compare your electricity rate, and see if it's suited for you. ASIC mining is easy. We have a setup guide, walk you through how to set up an ASIC miner. You're punching in Ethernet, you're punching in a power cable, and you copy and paste your address in the web GUI, graphic user interface, and you're pretty much off to the passive income races. So There's two other things I want to talk about before we wrap up this video. Okay, so one would be that these Ethash miners have found, actually let's make it three. So, right, so Ethereum is no longer mineable. Everybody knows that. We see that this can mine Ethash and it's supposed to pull $2.25 a day. Some of these miners have proven to maintain a couple bucks a day, and if you already have that gear, then keep running it, right? These are miners that were popular for mining Ethereum, and then Ethereum Classic used to be profitable to mine as well until so much hash rate flooded over after Ethereum was no longer mineable. This Ethereum PAL is Ethash, and it's maintained a price point around $3 recently and did $5 million in the last 24 hours and produced almost $40,000 in new coins mined in the last 24 hours. Hours. I might have missed. Point being is that's something that you can target with those miners, and you're like, well, it's not computing Ethereum Classic numbers on here for whatever that's worth, but those are a viable option if you had them, where you get someone capitulating and scoop them up cheap. So let's talk about a crypto that has a very high emission rate, but is very seldom talked about, used, or people show really any interest in. That would be Zcash. Some people call it Z-Trash. Well, so let me tell you about Zcash. Okay, so it's an equihash, which birthed so many little coins. So let's sort this by algo. We're going to go straight to equihash. When we go to equihash, only one miner shows up as being profitable. This miner is from 2020. It's almost 3 years old. Okay, there is absolutely already some more powerful equihash miners out there that we just don't know about, haven't hit the public market, whatever, in my opinion. Furthermore, I absolutely, firmly, completely believe we will see a new equihash miner here shortly, which means that I think that the Z15 is a terrible buy because it's probably going to be outclassed by a very serious just magnitude leap in advanced development, right? So equihash mining, I think, is set to be decently profitable this year with the right new miner that's going to be expensive, whatever. I think that these are a bad buy because there's probably a new workhorse right around the corner. That's speculation. Time will tell. I with that in mind, yes, this earns more than it burns, but it's not interesting to me at all. But hey, if you're feeling crazy, go give it a spin. Let me know how it goes. So let's close it out with big bad Bitcoin mining, right? So again, another ASIC mined coin. Theme of the status of mining these days. So the S19 XP Hydro is the only one that is profitable. Everything we've been computing today has been at 12 cents per kilowatt hour on this chart, which is a little bit higher than the 10 cents we normally use. But I didn't click it over, so whatever. That's the new standard there. So the point being here is simply that unless you have the absolute latest generation of Bitcoin miners at that residential electric rate, you are not profitable. You compete against farms that have dirt cheap electricity with Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin needs to be doing good to be a profitable endeavor, right? The S19 Pro, very popular model these days still, even though it's really a couple years old now. That miner is losing $2.33 a day at that price point. But keep in mind, like if you have 8 cents per kilowatt hour, the game is drastically changed. Instead of losing money, you're earning money. 73 cents, it ain't much, but it's honest work and it's more than it burns. So Bitcoin mining, yes, fun, cool, incredible endeavor, potentially new all-time high. In retrospect, a lot of things could turn out being worth it. Bitcoin miners will be very valuable, so it's hardware that becomes much more valuable, and you turn around and maybe make some good money just on flipping your hardware or exiting the mining game at the right time. Yeah, sure, all true, but from a smaller scale hobbyist point of view, Bitcoin mining continues to get further and further and further away from its original one CPU, one vote, for better and really just more for worse. So that really rounds it out. That's the breakdown. It's definitely time for me to go play with that cutie pup. My name is Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel, home of Tails, the cutest Dogecoin in the world. Fun fact, I had already gotten Tails before I got into cryptocurrency and learned about Dogecoin and things like that. So my beautiful pup is over 7 years old now, and that's just crazy. And you know, it's a little fun. It's a little destiny. There's someone cute next to her too. I need to go hang out with Miss Vosk Alexa. Did you see her recent video? I'm super proud of her for getting behind the camera. She's a little camera shy. You know, I used to be too, but I just keep blabbing and blabbing, and you guys either think what I say is cool or I'm an idiot. And no matter what you think, you seem to let me know in the comments. So let me know again today. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're chasing 1 million subscribers, and we're very far away. So I'll see you on the next one.